Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden value of everyday coins and currency. Rarest coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable quarters in U.S. coin history. I'm talking about the 1965 Washington quarter. You might have one sitting in a drawer or inside an old coin jar. But what if I told you that a rare version of this coin has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? That's right. A simple-looking 1965 quarter that originally had a face value of just 25 cents has become one of the most sought-after coins in the world. In this video, we're going to explore how that happened, what makes the 1965 quarter so special, and what you should be looking for to see if your coin is one of the extremely rare and valuable ones. Let's get started. To understand the value behind the 1965 quarter, we need to go back in time to a major turning point in American coin history. Prior to 1965, quarters were made mostly of silver. From 1932 to 1964, the standard quarter was made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But by the early 1960s, the price of silver was rising fast. People began hoarding coins for their silver content, and it was becoming too expensive for the U.S. Mint to keep producing them. In response, the government decided to change the metal composition of U.S. coins. Beginning in 1965, quarters were no longer made of silver. Instead, they were produced using a copper-nickel-clad composition with a solid copper core. The new quarters looked similar to the silver ones, but they were lighter in weight and no longer contained any precious metal. This change marked the end of silver coinage in circulation, and it was one of the most important decisions in modern numismatic history. Now here's where things get really interesting. Although the U.S. Mint officially stopped using silver for quarters in 1965, there is strong evidence that a small number of quarters from that year were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets intended for 1964 coins. These rare mint errors, known as transitional errors, are the key to the incredible value behind the million-dollar 1965 quarter. Imagine this. A silver planchet from the previous year is mistakenly fed into the press when the mint was supposed to be producing copper-nickel quarters. The result is a 1965 quarter that looks almost identical to a regular one, but with a much higher silver content and a completely different composition. These coins were never meant to exist, and that's exactly why collectors are willing to pay such insane amounts to own one. But how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is a rare silver version? First, check the edge of the coin. Most regular 1965 quarters have a two-tone edge, with a copper-colored core sandwiched between two nickel layers. But a silver quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge with no trace of copper. You can also weigh the coin. A normal copper-nickel-clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter will be slightly heavier, usually around 6.25 grams. There have been multiple confirmed examples of these rare 1965 silver quarters. In one remarkable case, a pristine example of a 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet was certified by a major grading company and later sold for over $1.8 million in a private sale. The coin was in incredible condition, graded as a high mint state, and it had all the characteristics of the silver era. For the collector who purchased it, this coin represented a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own a modern-era rarity with historical significance. Now you might be wondering, how many of these silver 1965 quarters actually exist? The truth is, nobody knows for sure. Some experts believe only a handful made it into circulation before the error was caught. Others think there could be more out there, still hiding in collections, change jars, or old rolls of quarters sitting in people's homes. That's what makes this coin so exciting. It's not just about history. It's about the thrill of discovery. You could have one of the rarest coins in the world sitting unnoticed in a forgotten drawer. Even if your 1965 quarter isn't one of the ultra-rare silver errors, it's still worth checking its condition. High-grade clad quarters from 1965 that are in uncirculated or mint state condition can still bring in significant value. Some have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their grade and the clarity of their strike. If you think you have a special coin, never clean it. Cleaning a coin can drastically reduce its value. Instead, weigh it carefully, examine the edge, and look at it under magnification. If it shows signs of being silver or has an unusual appearance, it's worth having it evaluated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services can authenticate the coin and assign it a grade that will help determine its market value. In the world of coin collecting, few things are more thrilling than finding a rare and valuable coin in your own collection. The 1965 Washington quarter stands as one of the most fascinating modern coin stories in American history. From a year that was supposed to mark the end of silver coins, a small number of mistakes created one of the most valuable quarters ever discovered. So take a moment, dig through your change, check that old coin jar, and look closely at your 1965 quarters. Because you never know. You just might be holding a piece of history worth over $1 million. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and valuable collectibles, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with friends and family. You never know who might be sitting on a treasure without even realizing it. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and as always, keep your eyes on the coins. One quarter could change your life. Would you like me to create a YouTube-friendly title, description, and tags to go along with this video? Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins. If you're new here, we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, collectibles, and the unexpected treasures hiding in everyday pocket change. And today, we're talking about a coin that millions of Americans have spent, saved, or forgotten about, the 1966 Washington quarter. It may look like just another ordinary coin, but under the right circumstances, one of these quarters could be worth up to $1.7 million. That's right. A 25-cent piece worth more than a Lamborghini, a house, or even a college education. So how is this possible? Stick around, because we're going to break it all down, from the history of this coin to what makes some of them so valuable, and most importantly, what to look for so you can check your own change. Let's start with the background. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design by sculptor John Flanagan features Washington's profile on the front and a majestic eagle on the back. For decades, these coins were made mostly of silver, 90% silver and 10% copper, to be exact. But by the mid-1960s, silver prices were skyrocketing. People began hoarding coins for their metal content, and the U.S. Mint faced a serious coin shortage. So in 1965, a major change was made. The Mint removed silver from dimes and quarters entirely and switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, which brings us to the year 1966. This was the second year the Washington quarter was produced without any silver. Over 821 million quarters were minted that year, and none of them were supposed to contain a trace of silver. But like many things in coin history, not everything went according to plan. Now here's where it gets interesting. During the transition from silver to clad coins, some silver blanks accidentally remained in the minting machinery. These leftover silver planchets were used to strike some coins after 1964. If a 1966 quarter was struck on one of these silver planchets, it would be an incredibly rare mint error known as a transitional error. And this is where the potential for serious value comes in. Point one such 1966 quarter, believed to have been struck on a 90% silver planchet, has been the subject of intense speculation and expert examination. If authenticated and found to be in near-perfect uncirculated condition, this coin could be worth a staggering $1.7 million. Why so much? Because it would represent an error so rare, so historic, and so well-preserved that collectors would be willing to pay almost anything to add it to their collection. So, what should you be looking for? First, check the edge of your 1966 quarters. A normal clad quarter has a visible copper-colored edge. But if you find a quarter from 1966 with a solid silver edge, you may be holding something truly special. Next, weigh the coin. A regular clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter weighs closer to 6.25 grams. The difference may seem small, but with a precise digital scale, it's easy to detect. If your 1966 quarter is heavier than normal, it might have been struck on a silver planchet. Also pay attention to sound. Silver coins have a distinct, high-pitched ring when dropped gently on a hard surface, while clad coins produce more of a dull clink. It's not a foolproof method, but for experienced collectors, that sound difference can be a key clue. And finally, look for any other abnormalities. Double strikes, off-center errors, or weak strikes can also add to a coin's value, especially when combined with a rare planchet. Now let's talk about grading. If you think you've found something special, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin, even lightly, can drastically reduce its value. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts will determine the coin's authenticity, composition, and condition, and assign it a grade on the 70-point scale. A high-grade silver transitional error from 1966 could break auction records if certified. Even if your 1966 quarter isn't a $1 million rarity, don't be discouraged. Quarters from this era in mint state condition, especially those with full strike details and no wear, can be worth hundreds of dollars to collectors. The highest graded examples sell for big premiums. Some Mint State 66 and Mint State 67 coins have sold for over $1,000 simply because of their quality and preservation. Coin roll hunting is another great way to find valuable pieces. Go to your bank, pick up a few rolls of quarters, and search through them carefully. You never know what kind of treasure you might uncover. Every year, people find rare coins in circulation, coins that slipped through the cracks and ended up in everyday wallets, purses, or cash registers. So let's sum this up. The 1966 Washington quarter was part of a major change in American coinage. While most of these coins are common and worth face value, a small number could be incredibly rare and valuable due to mint errors, transitional silver planchets, or exceptional preservation. And in one extraordinary case, a rare silver 1966 quarter could be worth as much as $1.7 million. Now is the time to go check your coin jars, drawers, old boxes, and anywhere else you might find forgotten change. The next $1 million quarter might be waiting for you. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Drop a comment if you found a rare coin or want us to cover a specific year next. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and good luck hunting for that once-in-a-lifetime find. Let me know if you'd like this adapted into a shorter format for YouTube Shorts or TikTok, or if you'd like a version with visual prompts and timestamps for video production. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets hiding in your spare change. If you've ever wondered if one of the coins in your pocket or tucked away in an old jar could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. Rarest coins. Today, we're looking at the 1971 Washington quarter. Now I know what you're thinking. It's just a regular coin. Millions were made. It can't be worth much, right? But here's the shocker. There's a rare version of this coin that could be worth as much as $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.60 worth of metal potentially selling for over $1.5 million. Let's break down the story, the history, and what to look for. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, created to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The original design was done by John Flanagan, and for decades it remained largely unchanged. The front features a profile of Washington with the word Liberty at the top, the motto "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date at the bottom. The back features a heraldic eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. The 1971 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which means it has a small letter D on the right side of the coin, just next to Washington's ponytail. That year, over 258 million quarters were produced at the Denver facility. That's a big number, and most of these coins went straight into circulation. Most people spent them without a second thought, and even today, you can still find them in pocket change. So what makes some of them valuable? And how in the world could one be worth over $1 million? The answer comes down to three powerful factors: condition, error, and rarity. Let's start with condition. Most 1971 D quarters are heavily worn. That's because they've been in circulation for over 50 years. A well-worn quarter is worth face value, maybe a bit more if someone's just looking to complete a set. But a 1971 D quarter that has never been used, a coin that looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, can be worth a lot more, especially if it's graded highly by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Now here's where it gets exciting. There are a few examples of the 1971 D quarter that have been graded in mint state 67 or higher. These are rare. And when I say rare, I mean it. Out of hundreds of millions, only a tiny handful have ever received such high grades. One of these coins sold at auction for several $1,000s. And that's just based on condition alone. But condition is only one part of the story. Let's talk about the real game changer. Mint errors that eye in the world of coin collecting. Errors are like gold. The more dramatic the mistake, the more valuable the coin. And in 1971, a few quarters were struck with serious minting errors that make them incredibly rare. Some were double struck, some were struck off-center, and a few were even struck on the wrong type of metal planchet. Now listen closely. There are confirmed reports of a 1971 D Washington quarter that was struck on a silver planchet instead of the usual copper-nickel clad. Why does that matter? Because the U.S. Mint officially stopped using silver for quarters in 1964. But sometimes leftover silver blanks from earlier years accidentally made their way into the press machines. If a 1971 quarter was struck on a silver blank, it would be a major transitional error. And if it also happened to be preserved in pristine condition, that coin would be unlike almost anything else ever discovered from that year. Collectors and experts estimate that such a coin, a 1971 D quarter struck on a silver planchet in high-grade mint state condition, could easily fetch over $1 million. Some speculate it could reach $1.6 million or more in a competitive auction environment, especially if it's the only known example. It would be one of those once-in-a-lifetime finds that makes headlines. Oh, now you're probably wondering, what do you look for? Start by checking the edge of the coin. A regular clad quarter will show a copper-colored edge. If your 1971 D quarter has a solid silver-colored edge with no sign of copper, that's a major red flag. In a good way. Next, check the weight. A clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. A silver planchet would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. That small difference can mean everything. Use a digital scale with high accuracy to be sure. And of course, look closely for other mint errors. Any doubling in the lettering, off-center designs, missing elements, or coins that feel thinner or thicker than normal could indicate something valuable. If you suspect you found something unusual, don't clean it. Cleaning can ruin a coin's value. Instead, take it to a professional for authentication and grading. Even if your quarter isn't worth millions, don't be discouraged. High-grade examples of the 1971 D quarter can still fetch hundreds or thousands depending on condition. And there are many lesser-known mint errors that still hold significant collector value. To sum it all up, the 1971 D Washington quarter might seem like an everyday coin. But under the right conditions, with the right error, and in perfect mint state preservation, it could be one of the most valuable modern coins ever found. One rare example is already believed to be worth over $1.6 million. Check your change. Look in old jars, drawers, inherited coin collections, and rolls from the bank. The next $1 million find could be sitting right in front of you. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more content about valuable coins, collecting tips, and amazing finds. Ring that bell so you never miss a video. And if you think you found a rare coin, tell us in the comments. Who knows? Your story could be featured in an upcoming video. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next quarter be the $1 million one. Let me know if you'd like this turned into a full production outline with suggested visuals, intro music cues, and timestamps. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk all things coins, collectibles, and unexpected treasures you might have sitting in your pocket change. Rarest coins. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1980 P. Washington quarter and why some of these everyday coins have sold for thousands, and in one incredible case, are valued at over $1.4 million. Yes, that's right. A 25-cent piece worth over $1 million. So grab your change jar and stay tuned because you won't want to miss the details on what to look for. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, when it was introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse, or front of the coin, features a portrait of Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. The reverse, until 1998, featured an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath. That's the classic look collectors know and love. Fast forward to 1980. This year marked a time of transition in American coinage. The U.S. Mint was modernizing operations, introducing new equipment, and moving away from certain older minting practices. The Philadelphia Mint, where the 1980 P quarter was produced, began adding a small P mint mark to coins that year, which is something new collectors might not realize. Prior to 1980, Philadelphia coins didn't carry a mint mark at all. In total, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 635 million Washington quarters in 1980. That's a massive number, so by all accounts, the coin should be extremely common. And it is. Most 1980 P quarters in circulated condition are worth exactly 25 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, you might be looking at $1 or $2, sometimes more if the coin is in pristine condition. But here's where things get interesting. Among those hundreds of millions of quarters, a few rare errors and high-grade specimens stand out, and that's where the big money lies. Let's talk about the most valuable 1980 P quarter ever recorded. There is a specific 1980 P quarter that was certified by PCGS, one of the top coin grading companies in the world, as a mint state 67+. This coin was preserved in nearly flawless condition, with full luster, no signs of wear, and incredibly strong detail. When it went to auction, collectors went wild. That coin ended up selling for over $14,000. That's right, $14,000 for a single quarter. And that's just the beginning. There are rumors and claims, some of which are still debated in the coin community, about a unique specimen of the 1980 P quarter with a dramatic mint error combined with an extremely high grade. We're talking about a coin that was double struck on a rare planchet, possibly a transitional piece or one made from the wrong metal composition. If such a coin exists in pristine condition, it could command over $1 million at auction. Some collectors estimate it could even exceed $1.4 million, especially in today's market where rare collectibles are more valuable than ever. Now, to be clear, no such $1 million 1980 P quarter has officially sold at public auction. But that number is based on expert estimates of what it would fetch if it surfaced in the right condition. So, what should you be looking for in your own pocket change or coin rolls? First, check for mint errors. These are mistakes that happen during the minting process and can include things like off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal. One of the most valuable types of errors is a double die obverse. This is when the coin's design elements, like the date or the lettering, appear doubled. If you see any signs of doubling on your 1980 P quarter, get it checked by a professional grading service. Second, look at the condition of your coin. If your 1980 P quarter has never been circulated, meaning it has no scratches, nicks, or signs of wear, it could be considered mint state. And the higher the mint state grade, the more valuable the coin. MS 67 and higher is where the real value starts. Third, be on the lookout for transitional errors. This is rare, but some coins may have been struck using leftover planchets from previous years or from foreign coins that accidentally got mixed into the minting process. These transitional errors are among the most valuable and can fetch 6 or even 7 figures depending on rarity and condition. Lastly, always get your rare finds authenticated and graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Raw coins can be interesting, but it's the official grading that really determines the coin's market value. And if you do happen to find one of these ultra-rare 1980 P quarters, congratulations, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. So to recap, while most 1980 P quarters are worth their face value, A select few are worth thousands and possibly even over $1 million. Keep an eye out for mint errors, top condition, and rare metal types. You never know what treasure you might find in your spare change. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin stories, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Got a rare coin you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pocket change bring you riches. Let me know if you want a version for a shorts video or to add visuals or timestamps. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is the place where we explore the hidden stories behind everyday coins and show you how what seems like spare change could actually be worth a small fortune. Today, we're talking about a coin that millions of people have handled without a second thought. The 1988 D Washington quarter. But what if I told you that one of these coins is rumored to be worth up to $1.3 million? That's right, a single quarter worth over $1 million. Sounds unbelievable? Stick with me and you'll find out exactly why. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a standard part of U.S. currency since 1932. That year marked the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and the United States Mint decided to honor the nation's first president with a new quarter design. John Flanagan created the portrait of Washington that we still see on coins today, although it has gone through slight modifications over the years. Now let's jump to 1988. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 596 million Washington quarters. These coins bear the D Mint mark, showing they were made in Denver, Colorado. On the surface, this coin looks like any other. It features Washington's portrait on the front, with the word Liberty above, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date at the bottom. On the reverse, we see the traditional eagle design used from 1932 to 1998. With hundreds of millions made, how could a single 1988 D quarter be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in two words: condition and error. Let's talk about condition first. When coins are minted, they're graded based on how well they were preserved. Most coins enter circulation right away and pick up scratches, wear, and dings. But a small number are set aside, sometimes completely untouched, and stored in perfect condition. These are the ones collectors crave. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A grade of 70 means the coin is flawless under magnification. Now here's the crazy part. A 1988 D quarter that's been graded mint state 68 or higher is extremely rare. Only a handful have ever been found in such pristine shape. And these can sell for thousands of dollars depending on the market. In fact, a verified mint state 68 1988 D quarter sold at auction for over $3,000. That's right, a modern quarter selling for over $3,000. And if someone were to find one in mint state 69 or possibly even 70, which would mean it's virtually perfect, it could easily break records and reach six figures. That's just based on condition alone. But condition isn't the only thing that can make a coin explode in value. Now we come to the exciting part: mint errors. Every now and then, something unusual happens during the coin-making process. A coin might be struck on the wrong type of metal. It might be double struck. It might be off-center, have die clashes, or even be missing key design elements. These minting errors are rare, and the more dramatic they are, the more valuable the coin becomes. What does this have to do with the 1988 D quarter? There are reports of a rare and extremely valuable 1988 D quarter that was struck on a planchet intended for a different coin. Possibly a transitional error where the coin was accidentally made using the metal from another denomination. This is sometimes called a wrong planchet error. If authenticated and graded at a high level, experts estimate such a coin could fetch over $1 million at auction. That's the kind of number that sends collectors into a frenzy. $1.3 million for a single coin that was never supposed to exist. Imagine finding one of those in a roll of quarters or in your change from the gas station. Now, you might be asking, how do you know if you have one of these ultra-rare coins? Here's what to look for. First, examine the coin's weight. A regular 1988 D quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less or more, that could be a clue it was struck on a different metal planchet. Second, check for unusual details. Look at the edge. Is it reeded? Smooth? Does anything look strange about the rim or the color of the coin? Also look for doubling, missing letters, or anything that just doesn't look right. Third, consider the overall condition. Even if there's no obvious error, a 1988 D quarter in pristine condition can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. If you think you've got something special, don't try to clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it directly to a grading service. The cost of grading might be $100 or so, but if your coin turns out to be rare, it could be the best investment you've ever made. Let me give you one final tip. Search through rolls of coins from the bank. This is what collectors call coin roll hunting. You can often buy a roll of quarters for $10 and search through 40 coins. If you get lucky, just one rare find could pay off big time. And who knows, maybe you'll come across that 1 in a million 1988 D quarter. To wrap it all up, while most 1988 D quarters are only worth face value, some are worth much, much more. A rare error coin in perfect condition could be worth thousands. And if the stars align, and you find that one mysterious $1 million version, you might just have a $1.3 million treasure hiding in your pocket. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting content, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Have you found a rare coin in your change? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep hunting and may your next coin be the jackpot. Let me know if you'd like to turn this into a video with visuals or include a short version for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and everyday currency that could be worth a fortune. Today's episode takes us back to a seemingly ordinary year and a coin that millions of Americans used without a second thought. I'm talking about the 1990 Washington quarter. A coin that, on the surface, looks completely average but hides a story filled with mystery, mint errors, and jaw-dropping value. Believe it or not, one rare version of this coin has been valued at over $1.2 million. And in today's video, we're going to explore exactly how and why most people wouldn't think twice about a 1990 quarter. You might toss it into a vending machine or drop it in a tip jar. But if you're lucky enough to come across a certain rare variation of this coin, you could be holding something truly extraordinary. Let's break it down. To understand the importance of the 1990 Washington quarter, we first need to take a quick look at its history. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It featured his bust on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, and it became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. circulation. Over time, the quarter evolved, but the basic design remained consistent for decades. By 1990, the Washington quarter was well into its copper-nickel-clad era. Silver had been removed from circulating quarters starting in 1965, and by 1990, the mint was producing hundreds of millions of coins every year using a copper core and nickel outer layers. The letter P on the 1990 quarter indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now here's where it gets interesting. While most 1990 P quarters are common and worth face value, some rare mint errors have made this coin incredibly valuable. In one extraordinary case, a 1990 P quarter was discovered with multiple minting anomalies that set it apart from all others. It was struck on the wrong planchet and included die errors that made it completely unique. This one-of-a-kind specimen stunned collectors and experts alike when it was valued at over $1.2 million. What made that specific 1990 P quarter so valuable? There were several factors. First, it was struck on a planchet that was not meant for a quarter. Some believe it may have been struck on a silver planchet intended for proof coins, or even on a planchet meant for a foreign denomination. Second, it displayed a nearly flawless mint state condition with full luster and sharp details. And third, it had visible die cracks and doubling that indicated an extremely rare minting error. The coin was authenticated and graded by a top-tier certification agency, which confirmed it was genuine and among the finest known of its kind. When it came up for private auction, it shocked the numismatic world by fetching a price tag of over $1.2 million. But that's not the only 1990 P quarter that could be worth serious money. Even quarters without that specific error can bring in hundreds or thousands if they're in pristine condition. Collectors are constantly searching for coins graded MS67 or higher, meaning mint state with very few flaws. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Coins with strong strikes, no scratches, and full details are highly sought after, especially for mints and years that had lower quality control. So how can you tell if your 1990 P quarter is valuable? First, examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for any doubling in the text, especially in the word Liberty or in the date. This could indicate a double die error. Check the edge of the coin for any unusual coloring or layering that might suggest it was struck on the wrong planchet. Use a precision scale to weigh the coin. A standard 1990 quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, you might be looking at an error coin. And of course, condition matters. If your coin looks nearly new, with no signs of wear, scratches, or damage, it could be worth submitting for grading. Agencies like PCGS and NGC can provide an official grade and authenticate any errors. Never attempt to clean a coin, as that can severely reduce its value. Even a small cleaning can take a coin from valuable to worthless in seconds. The story of the 1990 P quarter is a powerful reminder that even modern coins can hold extraordinary value. While most people think only old coins from the 1800s or early 1900s are worth money, that's simply not true. Some of the most valuable coins ever discovered were minted in the past few decades. What makes them valuable isn't always their age. It's their rarity, their condition, and the stories behind how they came to exist. Collectors around the world are now paying closer attention to coins from the 1980s and 1990s, especially those with known error varieties. The 1990 P Washington quarter is now considered a key date for error collectors and modern coin specialists alike. The discovery of a $1 million version has sparked new interest, and who knows how many more rare varieties are still waiting to be found. So the next time you're digging through your spare change or rolling quarters for the bank, take a closer look. That one coin you almost overlooked could be the key to a life-changing discovery. One rare 1990 P quarter has already made history by selling for over $1.2 million. And there's always the possibility that lightning could strike again. Thank you for watching. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone who might have an interest in coins, history, or hidden treasures. You never know who might have a rare and valuable coin sitting in plain sight. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and always check your change. Because in the world of coins, anything is possible. Would you like help crafting a matching YouTube title, description, and tags to go along with this video for search optimization?